Hello everyone. So thanks for joining this webinar with me and Pranav. So my name is Nivas. So I'm working as a senior product analyst here. So I am the organizer for this webinar. So I'm also having Mr. Pranav with me. So he's a co-organizer for this webinar. So he's also a senior product analyst from Vembu Technologies. So he's a co-organizer for the today's webinar. Okay. So I already gave an introduction 5 minutes before. So it's time we'll get started with the today webinar. Okay. So I hope you all see my screen. So before getting further into the webinar, so I would like to let you know the ground rules for this. So this webinar is currently being recorded. So after completion of recording, so you can get the recorded copy of this webinar from the vembu.com. So you just go to the webinar section and you can get this recorded copy in the recorded webinar section. Okay, and all the attendees are in listen only mode. So you're automatically muted on the entry and you're in listen only mode. So however, during this session, if you have any questions, so please feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A box. So Pranav and we have also other team members in this session. So we are happy to answer your question. If you're not able to answer it by today, so don't worry, we will send you an email with a detailed reply for your questions. Okay, and yeah, so this recorded copy will be posted in the webinar section. So with this, let's get started. So today the topic for the webinar is introducing Vembu Backup for Google Workspace in version 5.0. So we are glad to announce that the 5.0 is going to release in a couple of weeks, and we are going to introduce a new solution like Google Workspace Backup. So in this webinar, so we are going to give a small sneak peek about the features that are coming in the Google Workspace Backup. Okay. So yeah, before that, so I would like to give a small introduction about the new users who don't aware of Vembu Technologies earlier. Some people to join by sharing the invitation from members. So that's why I'd like to give a small introduction about the company. So we are the company founded in the year 2002 and we are headquartered in US. So we have 15 plus years of experience in developing the backup solution for various IT environment. If you take, so we have quite a lot of solution and we support various environment. Okay. And we currently set our footprint over 100 plus countries. People from 100 plus countries are using Vembu backup software to protect their business critical data. Yeah, and we have some 60,000 plus businesses currently using Vembu to protect their data. And we also have a very good partner base across the globe. So we have some 4,000 plus partners who are currently providing service, reselling, distributing Vembu to the different users across the globe. Okay, so this is the small introduction about Vembu Technologies. So as a backup software vendor, so we are also partnering with various technology vendors. So you can see Vembu is partnering with VMware. So we are the gold and official partners, okay, for VMware, Microsoft, NetApp, HP, Red Hat, and AWS. Okay, yeah. So these are some our customer portfolio. So I have picked some enterprise customers and put it here. But yeah, so Vembu backup software, all the solution that we offer is designed to cater the business requirement of business of any size, whether it is a small business with 1 or 2 workstation to an enterprise having hundreds and thousands of computers. Yes, Vembu software is designed to cater the business requirement of any size and any type. So yeah, with this, so actually, I also like to let you know more about the product lines. So Vembu is having 2 major products. The first one is the Vembu BDRSuite, which is a portfolio of product designed for the users who want to back up various IT environment and store the data in an on-premise storage repository. Yeah, here the primary copy of backup data will be stored in the on-premise storage like your local drive or NAS or SAN. So we have multiple solutions under the Vembu BDRSuite. So here we have the agentless backup and replication for the VMware. So we have a backup solution for the Microsoft Hyper-V. So if you have VMware and Hyper-V VMs, so without installing any agent inside your VM, you can take a backup of it. So we have a backup solution for Microsoft Windows. So if you have a Windows physical servers or workstation, so you can take an image level backup of it. Yeah, these comes with some cross-platform migration. If you want to migrate a VMware virtual machines to Hyper-V or Hyper-V to VMware, or if you want to migrate a physical machines to a virtualized environment, yeah, so these features are supported. Then, yeah, so for those users who want to just back up a particular files and folders or application from their servers or workstation, we have a solution for it. So that is the Vembu backup for files and application. So it is a granular backup solution, and it is supported for Windows, Linux, and Mac operating systems. Then we have a backup for Microsoft 365. So using this, you can back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and even the files and folders, Teams Online, SharePoint Online, Google Groups, sorry, Microsoft Groups, everything you can back up using this backup for Microsoft 365. Yeah, so this is the topic for the today's webinar. So we introduced this backup for Google Workspace in this version 5.0. So we'll see that detail in this webinar. Then we have a backup for AWS. So apart from backup, Vembu also offer DR. So if you want to set up the DR in your own data center in an offset location, you can opt for Vembu offset DR. Or else if you want to make use of Vembu Cloud, and if you want to have a copy of backup data in Vembu Cloud, then you can opt for Vembu Cloud DR. Okay, so this is the Vembu BDRSuite of product. And the second product line, so which is totally a new launch from Vembu. So this is primarily designed for the users who want to store the backup data directly in Vembu Cloud. So the Vembu Cloud means it is based on AWS. So we have all the servers running on AWS. Okay. Yeah, here, so we have a backup solution for files and application level backup. So we have a backup for AWS. So you can back up the EC2 instances running on your AWS. Then we have a backup for Microsoft Office 365 and backup for Google Workspace. Okay, so these are coming. So right now, in the current version, Vembu support only file application backup and Office 365 backup. From 5.0, so we are planning to support AWS and Google Workspace backup in our Cloud BDRSuite. Yeah, we also have the other solutions like backup for backup and application for VMware, Microsoft Hyper-V, and Microsoft Windows are coming in the upcoming versions of Vembu Cloud BDRSuite. So yeah, so this is a small introduction. So without wasting further time, we directly jump into the topic for the today's webinar. Okay, yeah, it's introducing the Vembu backup for Google Workspace. Yeah, so this is today's agenda. So first, we'll see the challenges in protecting the Google Workspace data. So why you want a solution to back up the Google Workspace? Then, so I'm going to introduce the Vembu backup for Google Workspace, and I also have a small demo setup, so I can show you how the Vembu BDRSuite works and its features and functionalities. Then we can have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, if the time permits, so we can put this question into the screen and we have a small discussion here. Okay, yeah. We go to the next slide. So yeah, so what is the benefit of Google Workspace? Actually, so Google Workspace is having quite a lot of benefits. Actually, so it is a collection of SaaS-based productivity tools from Google. So yeah, so all the services are packed into into single bundle. So all these service runs on a cloud. So there is no need for the business to install any sophisticated software in their data center or build the infrastructure to run these kinds of applications, the Google productivity applications. So it has a huge benefit. So like you can work from anywhere. So you can log into a Google account from anywhere and from any device, and you can do your work. And it has a easy collaboration. So you can just create a single document, and this document can be shared with multiple people in your organization, and everyone can edit at the same time. And yes, so Google is also having an option to keep the multiple versions of the changes that you're making in each and every documents. So like you have the tools for you have this mail tool, so you have this Google Docs. That if Google is having this Google presentation, the Google Slides. Even I'm using the Google Slide for this webinar. So they have quite a lot of productivity tools to run your business. So they have the meeting tools. So everything is under a single account. And they also support seamless integration. So if you want to integrate this productivity tools with any other tools or devices, yeah, they support seamless integration. The integration is of top notch and a consistent experience. So if you use a Google Gmail, so you'll get the same experience whether you use in a PC or using a tablet or a mobile phone. The experience they give to the users is extraordinary. And yes, stringent. So they are also having this very stringent security fixes. So if there is any kind of fix, they are rolling out to all the users. And yeah, you don't need to manually do any updates. So Google is taking care of everything for you. So these are the major benefits of using Google Workspace for your organization. Okay. Yeah. So this is things. And yeah, okay. So you are using Google Workspace for your business productivity. Do you think Google take care of everything? No. If you ask me, generally speaking, it's no. Not if the data loss is caused by user. For example, so Google will take care of the infrastructure type of things, but they will not be responsible for the data. So that we see in the next slide. Okay. So here they adopt the shared responsibility model. So if you are using Google Workspace, so you are also you are sharing the responsibility of this entire stuff. So you have the users is having some responsibility, whereas the Google is having some responsibility. So you can see here, I have created a chart here where so the user activities, data, and threads. So these comes under the responsibility of the customer who is using the Google Workspace. Whereas the infrastructure, so that is the back end of this applications, like how this application is deployed, the operating system, the network infrastructure, physical, the hardware, everything is taken care by the Google. Okay, so you don't need to worry about the infrastructure, maintaining the infrastructure. So you just need to have a very good internet connection. If you have a very good internet connection, so you can access this Google Workspace from anywhere and you can use it. But however, coming to the data protection, so how you're using this data, how you're working with this data, it's totally up to you. Okay. Yeah, so there are so this is a SaaS environment, right? So there are a lot of reason for the data loss here. So we are just going to see so what are the major reasons behind the data loss here. So I have collected some of the major reasons for the data loss in your Google Workspace account. The first one is the accidental deletion of data. Okay, some users, okay, so I'm using Google Drive, everyone is using Google Drive. So what if the Google Drive space get filled? So you'll try to delete the less important data, but these data might be important for you in later period of time. So without intentionally or unintentionally, so you might be deleting the documents or emails or some other important files and folders from your Google Drive. Yeah, or some people think some of the data might be duplicate as you are collaborating with this, right? Some might have take a copy of this the document that you're sharing and they're working on it. But after some point in time, so as this is considered, right? So they just remove it. So without having a knowledge whether it is being backed up or not, so they just delete the documents you have created. So which is an accidental deletion. And yeah, so some people, so they share the sensitive information using the Google productivity tools. So once the work is done, so they don't want to share the sensitive information in the cloud-based tools. They just delete it. Again, here people sometimes forget to take a backup of it. So if you just click a delete, so it will entirely delete all the traces of data from all the different data centers. Yeah, that's all. If the data is deleted, yeah, it's gone forever. Yeah, so Google is also having a retention policy. So if you delete the data, so it will keep it for 30 days. So after the 30 days of deletion, it is gone forever. So you will not be able to retain it. But some organization might have the policy. So even if they have deleted the data, so they just want to restore it after 6 months or 1 year of time. So that kind of flexible retention policy is not available in Google Workspace. So you have a fixed 30 days. After 30 days, you will not be able to restore the data. So that is the retention gap. And yeah, so coming to the external threats, so we have a lot of external threats. Like you might be using some third-party application. So you can integrate that third-party application to the your Google Workspace account. So all the time, so when you start the integration, you just keep on click yes without going through the list of permission you're going to give to that particular applications. So yes, these permissions are invisibly a threat for your Google Workspace account. So I just if you take the Google report, so 70% of high risk apps and 44% of medium risk apps are downloaded 1+ million times. Okay, so yeah, so there are some in the Google Marketplace itself. So you're having a lot of malicious applications. So yeah, and it has been downloaded by multiple times. So next one is the next external threat is the loss of a stolen device. Okay, so everyone uses the multiple devices at the same time. However, yeah, this is a convenient. So you can just log into a mobile device, or you just log into laptop, and everyone have the habit of saving the password. Yeah, it is more annoying every time when we try to enter the password. So we just use a save password saving feature and save the password. So what if that, another flip side here, what is that if that particular device is lost or it is stolen? So if anyone get this device, so they may try to steal the data, or they will expose your sensitive data to the public, and they might also delete the important data from your Google account. So they might permanently delete it so that you cannot recover it from anywhere. Okay, so that can happen if you lose the devices that you have signed in your account. Then again, ransomware. So ever since the WannaCry, many organizations know what ransomware is. Yeah, so this ransomware not only affect your on-premise data center and lock the important data and ask for the ransomware. So it also affect the data that are used in cloud. So they can send some phishing emails. So open that phishing emails, download some kind of application. It affects your Google email client, and yeah, so it will sync the data to the cloud. Yeah, if it is synced, yeah, the cloud data is also getting corrupted, or it's get encrypted by this ransomware application. Okay, so this is, and the next one is the internal threats, like internal threats by your employees. So yeah, the employee and Axel, the human threats counts as 70% of the data loss. So like some employees, they overwrite the data without having a knowledge of the importance of the data. So they might overwrite. So if there is a file in same name, so they might not know about the importance of that particular file. So they just overwrite the existing files. And yeah, so employee exit. So when an employee leaves an organization, the standard procedure is to back up their data and reuse the account license. Yeah, so you need to okay, if anyone who is in a higher position, like if a manager or a senior manager is leaving, so you still need the data of these people. So you can just take a backup of these users and you can keep it, and you can delete the license and you can reuse it. Yeah, so these are some internal threats, and yeah, these are the major source of data loss. For example, if you didn't take a backup of an important person, and if you delete their mailbox, yeah, the entire data is lost. Yeah, so these are the major reasons for a data loss that could occurs in your Google Workspace. So that's why you need a strong solution to back up your important Google Workspace data. Okay, so that's why Vembu introduced the Vembu backup for Google Workspace. So we got a lot of requirements in recent time from our users and also from the partners requiring for Google Workspace, as the demand for the Google Workspace is growing. Yeah, so the Microsoft 365 is a major player, but Google is contending and they are trying to acquire a great market share. So in the upcoming days. So you can expect a good market share from Google Workspace for this collaboration and productivity tools. And yeah, the demand for as it is, as the Google Workspace is growing, right, the threat is also growing, and there is a lot of demand from the users for a concrete and a solid backup solution for the Google data. Yeah, so that's why we are introducing the Vembu backup for Google Workspace. It is a simple solution. So using the Google Workspace, so you can back up your mails, contacts, calendars, and the Google Drive. So you can back up the entire domain, or you can back up only the selected users from your Google account. If not all the users' data is important, so you can just back up only the selected accounts. And the important thing is, so you can take a backup, and you can store the backup into the on-premise storage repository. Okay, so you can view this data, or you can restore this data to any user mailbox at any time. So you can just restore the entire mailbox, or you can granularly restore a particular files or the particular documents or files from their the mailbox. And you can also export this backup data to multiple file formats. Like you can download the mail in a EML and PSP files. So yeah, there are multiple file formats that you can use Vembu to export it to different file formats. So this is the initial features that we are going to bring into the Google Workspace backup. And yeah, as I said here, right, so one of the important feature of the Google Workspace backup is the on-premise deployment. So it is just a software application. You can install it on your computer, and you can just give a storage repository. You can take a backup of your Google Workspace data and store the backup data into the local device. Yeah, it's stored in your data. It's completely in your control. Okay, and we are also helping you to comply with the various compliances like GDPR and HIPAA and lot more compliances. So in Vembu website, so we have a detailed listing of the compliances that we're helping to comply the users. And yeah, so what's your takeaway in this webinar? So Google Workspace has a shared responsibility model. So you are having certain responsibility, not certain responsibility. You are having all the responsibility in protecting the data from the various data loss and the data threats. Okay, data in the cloud is still at risk. You have to take care of your data. And yeah, so being compliant is being peaceful. So if you have a backup, so IT admins can go and sleep peacefully. And yeah, so that's why Vembu has designed a solution that will help you to protect your data. So let's see how Vembu backup for Google Workspace look, and we'll see it in action now. So how you can download the Vembu Google Workspace backup. Okay, so you just go to vembu.com and hit on this download button. Okay, so it is a single application that you can download and install it on a computer. Okay, so Vembu version Vembu BDRSuite version 5.0. So you'll be able to take a backup of your Google Workspace. So just click on this download Vembu BDRSuite version beta. So the beta is right now available for the only for the Windows installation. So yeah, we are going to introduce release the GA in a couple of weeks. So once it is released, so you can use it for the production use also. Yeah, but now it is only for the testing purpose. So we are not recommending to use it for the production. Yeah, we are going to release the RC and GA in few weeks. So once it is released, you can use it for the production. Okay, yeah, so how this beta is available in a Windows version. For the Windows version, just click on this download button. So it will download the beta for you and you can download. So it is a 600 MB exe. So once it is downloaded, you can just install it on one of your computer. So the minimum RAM requirement for this installation is a computer with the 8 GB of RAM and a quad-core processor. Just download and install it. So the installation will take around 3 to 5 minutes. So once the installation is completed, you are good to go with configuring, adding your Google account and configuring the Google backup for the Google mailbox. Okay, so just download. So I already installed it on one of my computer, and yeah, so in the version 5.0 also, so we are still retaining this web-based user interface. So just install it on one of your computer, and you can access the Vembu BDR console from any machine just by entering the IP address followed by the port number. So just enter the IP address of the machine where you have installed this Vembu BDR suite followed by the port number. So 6060 is the port to log into this application. And yeah, so you can customize this during the installation. Yeah, so I just let it to default, and the admin are the default username and password to log into this application. Okay. So this is how your application will looks like. So here you can see it directly take me to this VMware on-premise environment backup. Yeah, here you can see the 4 major sections, right? VMware, Hyper-V, Windows. The next is a backup section for the AWS, Microsoft 365, and Google Workspace. And the next is a file server, endpoint, and application backup. So it's the topic for the today's session, Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. So just click on this tab. And yeah, the first thing that you have to do is you need to add a storage repository to store this backup data. As I said earlier, right? So it is your data is going to get stored onto the storage repository. So just click on BDR infrastructure, click on backup repository, click on block storage. So the block storage is ready. So the object storage is coming in the next immediate releases of Vembu. Okay, just click on create a new backup repository. So it will list out all the volumes that are available in your machine. So just select the volumes where you want to store the backup data. Yeah, it is a scale out. So if you're selecting multiple volumes, the backup will first go to the D drive. Once the D drive gets filled, it will go to the J and B drive. So it is a scale out repository, and you just create a repository by a single drives and just give a name and create a repository. You can expand this repository at any time just by clicking on this edit button and add a new volume to store the backup data. Yeah, this is the first thing. Yeah, and the next thing is you have to add your data source. So just click on this data source tab. So here you have these 2 options, add Microsoft 365 or add Google Workspace organization. So just click on add Google Workspace. So I have already added one of my organization, and adding organization is pretty simple, but yeah, so you have to manually do some works to add this Google Workspace organization to the Vembu application. For this, just click on add Google Workspace organization. So we gave all the instructions to add your Google organization, Google Workspace organization. So it is a 4-step process. So first you need to create a project in your Google account. So in a Google Cloud platform, you have to create a project. So once created a project, so you have to enable the APIs. So Vembu Backup, Vembu BDRSuite is going to connect to the Google Workspace through the APIs they are providing. So you have to enable the APIs. So you'll have a step-by-step instruction in enabling the APIs for the Vembu backup. Then you need to create a service account in the project, Google project, to access the APIs. So the 3rd step. And yeah, so you need to give an authorization for the Vembu BDRSuite to access the Google Workspace data. That is, you have to do it from your admin console. So these are the 4 steps. So when you expand this, so you will get a detailed step for enabling the Google Workspace to connect with the Vembu BDRSuite. So once all these 4, if you have done all these 4 steps, so you'll be getting this organization name that you can give. You will get the client email, you will get the admin email, and you will get a private key. So once you entered all these specified information and click on save, so it will add the Google Workspace organization to the Vembu BDRSuite of products. So once it is added, yeah, you're good to go with configuring the backup for your mailbox. Just make sure so you are having an uninterrupted internet connection in the computer where you have installed the Vembu BDRSuite. So this backup is going to be to the internet. So we'll connect to the Google Workspace and backup the data and store the backup data into the on-premise storage repository. Yeah, to create a backup job, just click on backup, click on configure backup, click on Google Workspace. Just click on Google Workspace. Yeah, first you need to give a name for this backup job. So I'm just giving a test as a name. And you need to select a repository. So if you're having multiple repository, you need to select one of the repositories to store the backup data. And you can also just give a description. My user mailbox data. So you can give any description just to identify so what data you are backing up in this backup job. Then click on next. So first it is asking our organization. So which organization you want to back up. So you can add multiple organization to the Vembu BDRSuite. So I currently have only one organization. I'm just selecting that organization. So the next option is, so you can back up the entire organization or you can back up the selected objects. So if you want to go take a granular backup, so just click on this backup selected objects and click on the user mailbox item, then click on next. So yeah, so you have to select. So I'm having only one domain under this organization. So I'm just selecting the domain. So if you have multiple domains, all the domains will be listed here. So you can just select the one or more domains to filter the data from these, filter the users from these domains. Okay. And yeah, so you have to select this option. So you can either select all the users or you can just select the specified users for the backup. So yeah, I'm having only 4 users as this is the test account. I'm having 4 users. In your case, you might be having hundreds and thousands of users. So just select the users you want to backup. So you can create different policy for the different users. For example, so for first 50 users, a different backup policy, and for the next 50 users, different backup policies. So like you can select the users you want to backup, and you can also select the entities you want to backup. So you can backup the mails. It's a granularity. For example, if you don't want to backup the calendars or contacts, so you can just uncheck these items. Okay, for this test, I'm backing up everything. Then click on next. So here is a scheduling. So you need to specify the scheduling, incremental schedule. The first time it will back up the entire data from your Google Workspace account, and in the successive schedule, it just only back up the incremental changes, like the changes that have been made since the previous backup. So here the frequency is starting from every few hours, or you can run the backup daily or weekly. So it's totally flexible. So I'm just selecting daily at 9 p.m. And yeah, so what if that particular schedule gets failed? So you have an option to specify the retry attempts. So number of time it has to, and how frequently it will retry. So you can specify these settings here. After specifying these informations, just click on next. So here is a retention. So if you want to compress the data when storing into the storage repository, just enable the compression. Yes, if you don't want, so you can just ignore it. So we'll store the raw data into this storage repository. So I'm just enabling it. Then click on next. So here is the retention policy. For how long period you want to retain this backup data into the storage medium. So that you're going to specify it here. So if you didn't specify anything, so we'll retain the data forever. Again, it will. So if you have a huge data, the storage repository will get filled up easily. However, you can avoid this by specifying retention policy. Yeah, every organization have the retention policy. So the default retention policy of the Google Workspace is 30 days. If you delete any data, so it will be kept in this the retention, the Google bin for recycle bin for 30 days. After 30 days, it will get permanently deleted. So yeah, here you have a retention policy for user mailbox. So you have months and years of retention policies here. So just like years, you can specify up to 10 years. And you can also, for the Google Drive, so you can specify the version for how many versions of changes you want to retain. So you can go for the version-based retention, or you can go for the day-based retention. Again, you can store the backup data for last 999 days. And yeah, so you can have up to 999 versions of data. Okay, so this is the retention settings. So then click on next. So that's all. Everything is good. So you can just review the configuration you have selected for this backup. So if you are good, so just click on this checkbox if you want to run this backup job immediately, and click on save. So it will create a new backup job. So first time it will take the full backup. So yeah, it will take some time. So if there are a lot of users and lot of user data in your organization, first initial full backup will take some time. and then the successive incremental will go easily. And yeah, so the backup timing is also based on the internet bandwidth and the speed of your internet connection. Okay, so this is the first thing. Yeah, and you have multiple settings here. So first, after the backup, so you can configure the backup window. For example, if you don't want the run the backup in a specific time period, so you can just set up the backup window. So this is how you can create a backup job. So once the backup job is created, so we'll copy the data, store the backup data into the storage repository that you have selected. So in any case, if you want to restore the backup data, restoring an Google Workspace data is pretty simple. So just click on this restore button. So it will show you the list of backup jobs that are configured in your account for your account. So just click on restore. So I'm having only one backup job. So there's a PM team email job name, and just click on restore. So yeah, here you can see the restore user mailbox. Then click on next. So you have to select the organization. So I'm having only one organization, right? Just selecting that particular organization. So if you configure the backup for multiple organizations, the organization detail will be listed separately. So you can just select the data from the organization you want to restore. So I'm just selecting this. Then click on next. So here you need to specify the restore point. So you might be having multiple restore points. So just select the restore point from where you want to restore this backup data. So I'm just selecting the reason recovery point. Then click on next. So here you have this option. So you can see all the mailboxes in this backup job. So I've created a backup job for the 3 email accounts. I'm just selecting one of the account. Okay. Then click on apply. Okay, so here you can have multiple options. So how you want to restore, you have multiple options. So you can restore the entire mailbox. If you select the entire mailbox, this particular email the entire mailbox will be restored. That includes the mail, Google Drive, calendar, contacts. Everything will be restored. So when you click on next, so you can restore the entire mailbox to the same or different account. If it is the same account, don't worry. If it is a different account, so you have to specify the different user under which you want to restore this entire mailbox. So that's the first. And the second option is the restore mails. Okay, so if you don't want to restore the entire mailbox, if you just want to restore the particular mails to same or different email account, you can do it by using the second option. Yeah, just select you can restore the entire folder, or you can just even restore the single mails. So you can view the emails. So just click on this view icon to view a single the email items. Even you can just download as an EML if you want. Okay, so it will directly download this EML. Yeah, you can select and you can just download everything, or you can just gradually restore a single email items. Okay, so this is the second option. So you have multiple mailbox, so you can just select all the folders, or you can select a single folder. You can go ahead and restore it. So that's up to you. So if you want to restore everything, you can just select all or the entire mail or entire folder, or else you can select the individual items. Then if you just want to restore a Google Drive item, so just select the drive. So when you click on this arrow, it will list out all the files and folders in your drive. So you can just individually download these items by clicking on this download link, or you can just select everything and proceed further. Okay, so you can restore the calendar events. Similarly, you can restore the contacts. So this is how the restore works. Let's take this mailbox restore. So just select the mails. So just select one of the mail. So I'll let you know this next step. Just click on next. So here we have this option. You can download as a PST. So if you want to download as a PST, you need to have this Outlook installed in your computer to open this PST files. Or you can restore to, you can download to same user mailbox, or download to a different user mailbox. So I'm just selecting a different user. When you click on apply, so you have to just give a description for this restore, and then click on review it. Just click on review. Just review the configurations you have selected for this restore, and click on restore. So it will start to restore the data. This is very simple in terms of creating the backup job and also recovering the backup job from the backup. Okay, so these are the initial set of features that are available in the version 5.0 release. Yes, we have a roadmap, so we are also adding a lot of features in the upcoming versions of Vembu. And yeah, here you can see that the next tab is the report, so you can see the detail of the reports here. So you can see the full backup reports. You can see the historical report of this job. So sometimes it get previous, or some of the schedules get failed. So you can see the reason for the failure. So these backups are failing because of the lack of license. So once the license get applied, so it will start to back up. So you can see the detail here. So one domain is being backed up, the number of users, so everything, the success, failure details, everything you can see it from this report itself. The total size, everything you can see. So you can also set up an email notification. So if you set up the email notification after the successful backup, or if the backup gets failed or missed, so you'll be notified through an email. Okay, so these are the basic license settings. So you can create multiple users to log in to view this backup configuration and to start the restore. So yeah, so this is how the Vembu backup for Google Workspace works. So if you want to test it in your environment, we just download it from our website and you can just install it and start the testing. So we have a detailed user guide. So just go to this download section, just click on this user guide. So you have a detailed user guide for this Google Workspace backup. So a step-by-step instruction from deploying this application in your computer to add your Google organization and creating a backup job for your mailbox. So we have detailed instructions in creating a backup job. Yes, you can just make use of this document and get started with testing the Vembu backup for Google Workspace. So yeah, there's a simple and a single solution for your workspace backup. So apart from backup, Google Workspace, so Vembu is also having other functionalities, like you can backup your VMware, Hyper-V, Windows servers and workstations. So you can backup your AWS EC2 instances. So you can backup your file servers, endpoints, application. Everything you can do it from this single user interface and manage it. So like you can take a backup of a Hyper-V. Against VMware Hyper-V, it's pretty simple. So you need to add your data source, like you can add your VMware, Hyper-V, or other Windows servers or workstation. And once it is added, just click on backup, click on configure backup, click on VMware vSphere. So it's pretty simple. You can see the on-screen instructions to create a backup job. So it is not having that much learning edge. Okay, so it is pretty simple. So anyone can create a backup job and initiate the restores. Yeah, apart from backup, you can also create a replication jobs. There are multiple recovery options that are available. Okay. So this is a small sneak peek about. So I hope you get an idea of how this Google Workspace backup works. Okay. So yeah, it's now time to get started with the evaluation. And yeah, so that's all for this webinar. So I'm seeing some lot of questions are coming in. So my colleague Pranav is replying to your questions. So if you have any questions, so you can just type in. So we'll try to answer your queries. So guys, so that's all for today's webinar. So I hope you liked it. And yes, if you have any questions, so you can just type and paste it on your Q&A box, or else you can contact us through the phone number and the email ID displayed in this screen, and we are happy to answer your mails. And if you want to have a one-to-one demo session, just go to the website and there is an option called request a demo. Just click on this and create a request. So we will contact you and we will schedule a demo for you at your convenient time, and we'll have a one-to-one discussion. So we'll just discuss the best practices and we will discuss everything in a separate call. Okay, so yes, so that's all for today's webinar. So I hope you liked it. If you have any question, please feel free to contact us, and have a nice day. Thank you.